Well, hello there. If you don't know who I am, my name's Lissa and it's really nice to meet you. So as some of you may know, I backpacked Australia recently for a month and a half. So I'm going to be doing a Backpacking Australia frequently asked questions video / tips video. Now, if I don't answer any questions you have, please comment them below. I will answer every single one to the best of my ability. So here we go. To start off, I went on the trip by myself. I realized once I got there that transit in Australia is not very good, so getting around wasn't very easy for me. I had like 7 flights within Australia, and then I took a Greyhound. I would suggest that if you're not going by yourself, if you're going with some friends, buy a car once you're there, drive it to wherever you need to go, and then sell it after. There's always cars being sold, and there's always people looking for cars. What backpack did you use? I used the same backpack that I used on my Europe trip. Used my Osprey Farpoint, it's 55 liters, and then my day pack was 12 liters, which I wore on the front with all my electronics. This, unlike most bags, opens laying down. I'd highly suggest a bag like this. It's a lot easier to pack and repack and find what you need. Make sure you get a bag that is the correct sizing, not in liters, but in the way that it fits on your body. Because if you have one that's too big or too small, it won't be comfortable. What cities did I go to? I flew into Sydney, and then I headed to Newcastle. Then I took a flight to Gold Coast. I went back to Byron Bay, back to Gold Coast, to Brisbane. Then I flew to Hamilton Island, which then I took a ferry from Hamilton Island to Airlie Beach. Stayed in Airlie Beach. Then I busted all the way to Cairns, and then I flew back to Sydney, spent Christmas in Newcastle, went back to Sydney, and then I busted to Melbourne. What about hostels? So I didn't stay in as many hostels on this trip as I did in Europe. That is because I had a lot of friends in Australia that I had met in Europe, and I ended up couch surfing a lot. With hostels, I checked out a lot on Hostel World. A lot of hostels, it's almost better to book on their actual website or by calling. Hostel World charges an extra fee. My least favorite hostel was probably Jackaroo in King's Cross, Sydney. There were cockroaches. That was my first hostel of the trip. I was not thrilled because I didn't expect cockroaches. But my most favorite hostel on my trip was the Nunnery in Melbourne. It's not what it sounds like. It was actually so awesome. It was basically a party hostel, but they had a great lounge. Another one of my favorite hostels was Surfers Paradise Backpackers Inn, I think it's called, in Gold Coast / Surfers Paradise. All the employees were people from all over the world, and everyone just made you feel welcome. So I backpacked by myself without a tour, but in specific cities I did daily tours. So in Whitsundays, I snorkeled for a day. It was awesome. And then in Cairns, I also snorkeled the Great Barrier Reef one day, and then another day I did a waterfall / rainforest tour. I would suggest talking to the people at the hostel. They have recommendations and brochures and pamphlets, and they will help you book all of those, so don't worry about looking at those online. Best way to meet people. I got this question a lot. It's not as difficult as you may think it is. Honestly, just meet people by staying in hostels and sitting in the common area and just starting a conversation. Ask someone where they're from, how long they've been traveling for, why they're traveling. If you're in hostels and you're willing to make friends and you're friendly enough to say hi, you will make friends, I promise you. Which airlines did you take? I took Jetstar, I took Qantas, I took Virgin, and then I know there's also Tiger Air. They're all pretty small planes and not very comfortable, but they're only for like an hour flight. But honestly, sometimes it's the only way to get where you need to go. Grocery stores, what are the main ones? Now, Australia is not cheap, but the 2 main grocery stores are Coles and Woolworths. Woolworths is more expensive, but sometimes they have better sales. Coles was what I like to go to the best. They're a lot bigger and everything's so much cheaper there. My favorite stops, or my favorite things that I did, I loved Byron Bay. The nightlife there was so much fun. Just went out drinking both nights. Small little beach town, laid back vibe, total like surfer guys everywhere. I also really liked Cairns, even though it was a city. Honestly, the rainforest tour was probably one of my favorite days on the entire trip. Gold Coast was also awesome. Such a party town. Beautiful, beautiful city with the beach and the skyline. Absolutely loved the vibes. And then I also did a Great Ocean Road tour, which was 2 nights, 3 days. That was so much fun. I'm glad I did it. Honestly, one of my favorite things was on that Great Ocean Road tour. We were in the middle of nowhere, Australia, with no cell service, and we were in this field. There was about 10 of us just laying on the ground, drinking goon, which is like cheap boxed wine, and looking up at the stars and talking, and that was one of my favorite nights of my entire trip. All my favorite moments were actually moments that I spent money on, the extra day tours, so please go willing to spend a little bit of money for those experiences and those memories. What about couch surfing? I couch surfed on this trip. I used the app when I first got there. That went perfectly fine. He was awesome. I also kind of did things that, you know, most travelers wouldn't. I would meet an Australian in one city, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to your hometown in 3 days. Can I crash on your couch? And I would, even though I had just met them. There are risks to that. Trust the feeling and the vibes you have about people. Honestly, I probably only paid for accommodation half of my trip. That really saved me a lot of money. One last thing is, honestly, I went there during their summer thinking it was going to be like so hot. I had one day that was like 40 degrees Celsius. But other than that, I actually had to go out and buy warmer clothes. Don't go expecting that it's going to be hot just because it's Australia. Alrighty, if you have any other questions, please comment them below. I will answer them if I can. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.